We're going to speed things along here on the European side. It is the Axis turn. I'm going to go ahead and do everything that they're supposed to be doing. The research, the diplomatic, movement, combat, unit construction, SR phase. We're going to do it all. When I'm all done with the Axis, I'll just show you what happened, and we'll go from there. So you can see here what it looks like before the Russians did put their line up. The only thing the Axis have to watch for is the Americans are going to enter the war this turn. So the Allies are going to get 2 turns in a row. We're going to plan for that. And so the Axis turn is completely done. I started off in the diplomatic phase. I had nothing researched. Diplomatic, I tried to go for Iraq. I had a +2 modifier totally. The Allies had put 3 in there. I put 3 in there. Plus they had this modifier anyways. I didn't get it. It remains normal. Then I did everything I could on the Russian front. Try to exploit. You can see all the exploding tanks went behind the lines there. I got a few units cut off from supply right here, and that's about it. Didn't quite get this. These couple of these are cut off. I did manage to kill over 30 Russian factors, so I built another 3 pro-Russian allies. So anyways, I just tried to put the defense up. I left a couple tanks in the back here, brought in an Italian to beef up the back row because they get 2 turns, remember, and they're going to really beat me up here. I barely reached Stalingrad before the turn flip-flop, so it's not over yet. I'm just going to take a beating here and keep the pressure up. I got plenty of troops there. I got this defended pretty well. The Italians now, they are attrition. They basically backed up. They put all their aircraft on Sicily. They counter-aired the British air. They declined the counter-air battle, so nobody lost anything. They used their entire navy except that 9 to SR troops. They did 2 different SRs, so I would have to stop 2 groups. And I chose to let them go because all his navy spent now except for that 9. My entire navy can be used to pick up my troops, and I'm going to cut in behind the Italians. On a turn flip-flop, I'm going to try to get Tripoli on 2 turns in a row. We'll see how it goes. But that's why the Italians usually set up like this to keep the British from trying to get around them here. Matter of fact, it should be more like this. So the British come in 1, 2, and they still reach that. I should probably beef it up. Yeah, I think I like it right there. They're going to have to walk all the way around. We'll have to do something like that. So, anyways, it's hard to defend this, and I blocked the front line right here. So, we'll see what they can do. Anyways, that's the entire Axis turn for the summer. And we go to the Japanese turn. Over here, the Japanese, remember the Americans are going to get 2 turns in a row. We need to protect our task force. In other words, have them beefed up. Maybe put a little land air factors with them. And then, but other than that, we want to set up a little defense here. And remember, we're going for Guadalcanal now. Definitely Guadalcanal. Beef up some stuff here. Beef up Burma, but mainly out here. Let's get Guadalcanal and let's start defending this area here. So the first thing we want to do is all air base changes, patrols, naval base changes, and where we're running our supply, because I'm going to need to supply. Truck's an unlimited supply source. I'm going to run supply to the air unit. I'm running supply to this base. I don't need Rabaul to be supplied right now. I'm running supply to this base right now. Everybody else, I really don't care right now. So that's it. Changes are done. Moving a fleet to there. The aircraft were there. 2 went that way. 3 went this way. My task force 3 I broke up. I moved the ships here. Went to embark these troops. The rest went in task force 2 to this direction. Task force 2 came over and met up. So I only have 2 task forces on the board. There. Got rid of task force 4. Combined them. This ship is supplying protecting sea supply to this air base. The other ship's protecting sea supply into Leh. And then I had to run sea supply into Canton, and I put some air support here to watch the Flying Tigers. So that is all. The Americans get a chance to do any intercepting of any of this stuff, either with their submarines. And right now, you know, if the Japanese are going after Guadalcanal, I'm going to give it to them. I ain't putting up a big fight because I only have the 4 carriers against his presumably 6 and maybe more. But when I get those 2 in, so I think right now the time's not to fight. I'm going to let them do it. I don't see him messing with Australia or getting any farther out. The turn to fight him will be on the turn flip-flop. So not going to waste my resources just yet. So I'll let all that go. So the Japanese get all that, and then they'll finish their ground movement, and then we'll go to the attack. Ground movement's done. Basically, I moved everything to beef up Singapore. Okay, 1 Thai unit and a 3-2 Japanese. 2-2 there. I haven't taken that yet, but I'm getting there. And I'll probably strengthen this one. Everything needs to have at least 2-2 on these objectives, and then string some out here, here, and here. I'm getting there. Remember, SR phase is coming up. That's why this task force is here, and this task force is here to help in defending our gains down here against the Americans. But I got SRs to do. I don't mind this line right here right now. I'm on the 21 table against the Nationalists and the 11 table against the Communists. What we got to watch back here is Singapore. The next beach is Rangoon. He can invade actually right there, so I keep a strong defensive force here. And then there's no other beaches I have to really worry about along this whole coast, so from India and the British. So we are going to roll for their attrition, and we're invading from here with these 2. They go this way, and they're going to hit Guadalcanal. Now, you can't be more than 20 hexes away. And they are. So the invasion can't come from Tokyo. For the record, the invasion for Guadalcanal is going to have to be set up either at Guam or Truk. Can't come from Japan. So that's something we could have easily rectified if we were more experienced with the rules. So let's just remember that. And we'll go on with the invasion. I have air support here. Question is, do the Americans want to bring out their carriers and intercept? They do not. And it's going to be a 2-1. And it's a 5. The Australian dies. Ships go home. The Truk. And we are on Guadalcanal. So I'd like to get some more troops over here. We'll battle for this the rest of the year, defend that. See if I can get out here to Noumea. Builds. Those were destroyed planes. Our naval air raid gives us 3, so we can build them. 2 brand new carriers, a brand new plane, a brand new fort, 2 infantry. I chose not to build that tank yet. I just can't SR everything. I'm going to SR 1 tank off of here, so. And the infantry, I'm not too worried about. Remember, most of our infantry is going to Russia. He don't even know it yet, so we're going to declare war here in about a turn or 2. Now, I keep 14 ships in here for SR duties. Now, these I took out of the task force to run supply, but so there's 7 factors are going to get SR'd off Japan somewhere. These guys are all going to SR by themselves. Now, I get 9 SRs. This is a build. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have 1 SR, which is probably going to be this. But I wanted to split up this plane a little bit, but at least get it. Well, I don't own anything over here. I'd have to get it here. So anyways, I'm going to SR, and I'll show you what I have when I'm done. But that's what I keep 14 ships in Japan for. and we are running supply from Japan to Timur. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. No, we'll run supply from truck again to Timur. So, here are our 9 SRs. We SR'd a 5 Army air factors to truck to protect our main task force. This task force, or no, this 6 ships SR'd the tank off of Manila to Camaran Bay. We SR'd with 2 ships from Tokyo, the 1-2'd into there. We SR'd 4 ships, this one going to Timur. We did 4 ships, this one going to Leh, and we did 4 ships, this one going to Marcus. Now, do they wish to intercept? Now you have one here. Now I do have aircraft around here if he chooses to bring this out. I don't think he will. He can come over in this direction. I do have the task force there. As an Australian player, I don't think I just let him have this, but this one I'm going to try. I'll try one ship. Well, I have to go around, I get attacked by the aircraft. No, I will not. So, I will try my submarines though. Now remember, any subs I use can't be used in the, or any that are eliminated. Let me take 4 subs. I want to attack that supply line, or attack that transport from here. So the first thing we do is get an air submarine defense die roll. So the Japanese get, they have 1 submarine defense. See what it is? And it's a 6. And a 6 is a 0. They have no modifiers. These United States rolls for the air attack. They have 4 submarines. They just rolled a 5 with a 5 for a 4. And we sink a ship, damage another. So now for the losses of this, there was transporting 2 ships, and they eliminated 1 and damaged. The subs actually destroyed 2. And you see the Japanese, they put 4 ships in their box. They're going to take 2 off of this. And 2 go in the dead pool. So the 4 ships they had, there, they lose 2. Therefore, no naval ships are lost off the sea transport. And that's why you keep ships in the SW box, because any enemy submarine naval activity against your ships, losses can be taken from the SW box. So we succeed in occupying Timur. That's 2 turns in a row I've gotten a 1 against the communist attrition, so all 4 of their pieces are off. Now of course their turn's going to go and they're going to put 1 back, but I've got them down to 1 core just by our attrition in the entire game. So everything looks covered. I don't like this. I'm pretty wide open here. I didn't get none of that. They may have to be revised, replanned to take Kandahar, Kandari, and Madagascar should probably be taken by, in our turn flip-flop. I should be invading these 2. So we'll make notes of that. We'll see if this causes a weakness or the Americans can hurt us on that. But I am out to Guadalcanal, Wake. You can see the line going here, and I'll just keep trying to press, and I need to keep the Americans off here. But that's it for the Japanese turn. We will now go to the Allies' turn. The current U.S. BRP level base right now was like 200 and, I don't know, 35. It was a lot. He ended up with 19 SRs. He can use 2/3 in any one theater. Now, he didn't have any SRs over here, but he used up you get half of that initial deployment. So you get 9 initial deployments. Well, I used 5 over here. I brought 2 infantry sea transport into there, which took 4 ships for each factor. And so I had 27 ship factors I had to use. So 3 ships are there, 2 are there. That's 5 initial deployments. Even though the ships go home, every time you bring them out, they're initial deployments. So 2 Americans are on the board there at Gibraltar. The other 4 initial deployments are being brought on the board here. I'm SRing an airplane that was in Pearl with these ships down here into Australia. I was thinking about doing the task force, but I'm going to wait for the 2 initial deployments, these coming in, the carriers, and then I put 2 more initial deployments, 1 infantry, 1 more Army air factor in the South Pacific box. He can't stop these. I have flexible deployment for 2 units, and next turn they go right into Australia. So I'm beefing up Australia. I got stuff added to the force pool, which I'm going to buy. Now, for the Japanese to intercept us, remember, they don't have Port Moresby yet. 1, 2, 3. They only reach here. They do not reach this hex, and my SRs are coming right through here. For Truck to intercept me, he needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He needs to roll a 1 for that interception. I'm not even going to do it because I don't know what the task force is up to. He can be headed somewhere else. The reason I left the Japanese task force here, because I would either base it here in Rabaul or up here, but down here is, if the Americans come anyway, I want them to come around this side. I don't want them to start busting in here close to Japan. We got to keep the bombers away from Japan. And so the Japanese task force is here protecting the invasions out in this area or in this area. Here's the nice little line. Down here, I need a 1. I'm not even going to intercept, and he can go do it. Now, the other thing, the Americans, if they conduct a patrol out here to Truck, they can start bombing the Japanese task force here. But knowing that there's a lot of carriers in there, he put 5 Army air factors there. I don't think it'll be a good attack for me. That's why I'm not doing it. So anyways, these get through. Japanese don't stop them. Now he could use his submarines, because his submarines, if they eliminate anything here, he's going to lose some aircraft, because it takes 10 ships to transport that. So that's probably what the Japanese are going to do. So they say they are going to take 4 of their subs. Now I'm just going to bring 5 out, but they're saying 4 submarines are going to attack that. So let's go through that. No one's going to stop the initial deployment. So 2 more carriers get into the American task force. So we are up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 carriers now, just like the Japanese. We're ready to start fighting. Okay. These initial deployments are here. I'm going to go ahead and build some troops, and we're going to keep packing the U.S. box there. The same thing happens over here. We got those troops can be built, but I got plenty of troops in there. I don't know if I'm building them yet. Maybe the plane. And we sent the British 20 BRPs. So that's it for the Americans. Let's just conduct our submarine attack there and do a little builds, and the Americans are done. So the Americans, since they researched an extra sub-defense roll modifier, they got a +1. Plus I went ahead and I used both my magic points to modify my dice roll. So I got a +3, and the good thing I did, I rolled low, but I ended up destroying 1 sub and aborting the other. So only 2 subs got to attack, and they did sink 1 ship. However, I took the 1 ship out of my SW box. So I got 3 left there. So the airplane makes it. Everything else is good. Now for the first turn flip-flop of the Americans over here, I mean, I didn't really punch through or get anything crazy, but I'm ready to go here. I have invasion force ready. I have airplanes ready. I'm just going to send the task force around here, and I'm going to start fighting over here. So nothing major, nothing really to get back at them about, but I'm going to kind of do a prong attack into this direction while I'm going to mess around in this area when I can. attacking this way with my carriers will pull his carriers this way. I don't think he'll be able to deal with both spots. So we'll see how that goes. But American's turn is done. And let's do the Chinese turn. So the Chinese did an attrition. They rolled a 6, so they killed one Japanese counter. Then they built all their stuff. They're down to 8. Then the communists, they had nobody on board, so they couldn't even roll, but they constructed one now. So that's what we're looking at with the Chinese. They did lend, the British have now 5 Chinese factors on their side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one will be 5. So there's the 5 on the Chinese, on the British side. Of course, all the Australians here are still lent now back to the Americans. And that's done over here. The British turn, we finished. We broke through the line. We had to kill them so I can SR troops. So I broke through the line, got my tank up to here. Then I was only allowed 3 SRs because the SW phase killed me last time. So I SR'd 1 infantry there. This tank was there, and I'm allowed to place 1 airbase every turn, so I placed 1. So all that's good. Oh no, sorry, I SR'd the tank up here too. So that's 2 SRs. Then I SR'd a 5-4 plane that I had bought from the Gibraltar and all the way down to here that I controlled. And that's it. The British built 3 infantry factors over here, which were in the Indian box, and then they have 3 SRs on this side of the board. So they built the 3 factors and SR'd it to the front. I took an attrition there and I missed. So now let's see what the Russians can do. We want to try to kill some German units, maybe punch a hole, and then in the second turn you get tanks ready to go and you punch in behind the German line. That's what I'm going to try. Well, here's another dilemma. Remember, the Allies want a double turn flip-flop here, but because the Germans have so much money, and the Americans did spend a lot. They spent a lot of money this turn building troops over here, and keep giving money to the British, but it don't matter, it's staying on the board. The determination initiative, who has most BRPs, is real close. The Allies only come out with 38 BRPs more than the Axis. So if we want that double turn, the Russians are left. They can't spend more than 37 BRPs. The Russians, now their line isn't fixed and lined up because I'm going to take a double turn. So right now what I did is I didn't spend a lot of money. They got a lot of dead. It's really killing us. And that's why I can't take advantage of this double turn. What I need to do is make the Germans spend money, and they're not spending enough. So this turn, I want to kill so many Germans as I can. I'm going to cause a couple breakthrough points in here, maybe cut off this section, and then kill everything else I can. That's what we're going to try to do. I bought several tanks here and some planes. I'm short on planes. The Germans have planes everywhere, but we'll see what we can do here. Nice breakthrough spot. I can counter that plane, and I only have a few planes more than he does. I mean, that's the problem. I just don't have the planes. If I put some of the troops back, I can buy another 3 planes. That's another $9. But then again, that's some tanks. Do I really need one of the tanks I bought? I could take 6 back. That's at least 2 more planes, so let me do that. So give me another 2-4 there. So let's see if that helps me out. So, anyways, if I just do like the Germans do the Russians, you just kill as many men as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the Russians are down to 31. It's not a lot of money. We still got 2 turns to go. Russians need help. We got to open the Lend-Lease, and we need the Germans to spend money. We got to stop spending money. So the next 2 turns, we got to be careful. The British got to finish this off. The Americans are going to go up to 40 BRPs, so But we just got to kill so many German dead. Because the Russians aren't in a bad spot here. I mean, it's already 42 ending, pretty close, halfway through, and he hasn't pushed them close to Moscow, or can't get Stalingrad, can't get Leningrad. That is the end of the summer 1942 turn. And now it is the Allies' turn again. This is the turn flip-flop.